and welcome to Taking It to the Streets. My name is Rachel Greenebaum, and I am going to be talking about a very touchy subject today on Taking It to the Streets. Today I'm going to be interviewing Dee Dee, and I'm going to be talking about the topic of cancer. A lot of the times in interviews and in documentaries, we always get the side from the person that's actually going through this horrific time of their life. But today I'm going to try and take a new spin and a new twist to it. And I'm going to interview some people that have actually been with the person from day one and get their perspective on how they go through everything and dealing with such an atrocity that is sweeping through America that is known as cancer. All right, thank you so much, Dee Dee, for being here with me today. I know this is such a very touchy subject, so I really appreciate you taking out the time to come here and answer these questions for me. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And the first question that I have for you today is I want to get a little bit of information about you, and about the incident that happened. So what family member had cancer in your family?
Well, about 7 years ago, my sister, who was my youngest sister, her name was Dodie, she passed with colon cancer. And it was a shocking discovery to find out that she had it. We didn't know anything about it. All we knew is that she was not feeling well, didn't have any signs, anything, but she just kept complaining about her side, giving her a lot of problems and hurting. And because she was always so sort of active, we didn't think that she was going to be diagnosed with cancer. So we told her to go to the doctor and check it out. And then she did. She went went to the doctor. And when she went to the doctor, she found out that she had stage 4 cancer. And when she came home and told us about it, we were just like, we couldn't believe it. Absolutely couldn't believe it. And she went through her first round of chemotherapy. And right after she went after her chemotherapy, it really didn't help her that much. And we lost her.
I'm so sorry to hear that, and I think it's interesting that you were supportive of her going to the doctors, because a lot of people don't even realize that one time going to the doctors could specifically change everything.
Yes, it does.
Now, what was your initial reaction that you had after you found out that your sister had cancer?
Well, I was first of all, I was shocked. You've always hear of other people being diagnosed with cancer, and you really try to be supportive to them. You try to understand where the emotional aspects of it. You feel sorry for them. You moan and grieve with them. But when it hit close to home, you really can't accept it. And so the first thing when I found out about it, I was shocked. I went through a little bit of denial, like. This can't be happening, because she's my youngest sister. We traveled a lot with each other. We did fun things with each other. And I tried to stay very positive. I didn't want to think about, the very negative part of it, because it was stage 4 and you wanted to be hopeful. Me and my family, we wanted to be very hopeful. And so I didn't dwell on the negative part of it, the negative outcome of it. I kept saying that there's always hope. And so it was shock. I was just shocked.
So is that how you coped with your situation? Was it you just tried to stay positive and optimistic throughout everything?
Yes. The most important thing was to be positive for her. Yeah. And when I tried to stay positive for her, it reassured me to be positive. So I was just trying to very positive scriptures. We're sort of a family that believe in the Word of God. And so we read scriptures with her. We looked at the good things that can come out of this, not the bad things, but the good things. So we're just trying to be very positive.
I think it's really interesting that you said that, because somewhere I read that if you ooze this positivity, that it will retract to all the people around you.
Yes.
And I think that you mentioning that, like, it's almost sort of like a domino effect.
Yeah.
Because the more positive energy that you retract, it like goes to everyone else around you. So I think it's very interesting that you did say that, and you even said that it helped you and helped
Yes,
her
it did.
in a way as well.
It did.
So that's amazing that you can say something like that and be so positive.
Yeah,
even at
with
this
something
point.
like that, you look at it as it's hopeless. But if you go deep down within yourself and say that the doctors in them is telling you that there's a possibility that there's no hope for this. But if you have faith and you look at it from a different perspective, you try to be positive and say that there could be a better outcome out of it. Even if you know that this is the worst, but I'm going to give as much as I can to keep that person thinking that she can recuperate from this, survive this.
Exactly. Now, I'm sorry, did you say what type of cancer your sister had in the beginning?
She was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. And were you the sole caretaker, or was there someone else that helped you with this, or were you alone in this endeavor, or was there someone else?
No, I wasn't the sole caretaker of her getting better. My other sister was. I'm the type of a person, like I said, I'm more the positive person. So I bring forth a lot of the scripture reading. I bring forth a lot of the I'm here for you and I can do what I can do for you. But when it come down to the one-on-one the caring of it, because she was going through some of the pain, I didn't want to see her in that way. And then she have a son. And so I was more the caretaker of the son, because my sister was the caretaker of the physical aspects of it. And I was more of the caretaker of making sure her son needs get met. I didn't want her to worry so much about, what is happening to her son, because my son and her son was right around the same age. So I had to sort of jump in and be the caregiver for her son to make sure all his daily needs got met. And so, but I was there for her. We sort of rotated a lot. I didn't do a lot of the hand-on care, the taking care of like the feeding her and making sure her medication is taken care of. But I was more of the spiritual backbone of it, reading scriptures, letting her know that that she could get through this. She can get through it.
Now, going along with her son, you said she had a son, and I want people that are going through this type of situation to know how to deal with it. So going along with what she had a son, what type of things did you do for him to keep his mind off of something? Because I couldn't imagine knowing my parent had cancer. So what did you specifically do to keep his mind completely clear from this?
Well, one of the things he questioned a lot. He wanted to know what was going on with mom, and I believe that children feel things. They know, so it's best to explain everything to them, not to hide nothing from them. And so one of the things that I had to do is talk to, if you know, his name was Cody. His name is Cody. I talked to Cody a lot. I told him that mom was going through a really difficult illness, and that she's going to need all of our support. We have to be there for her and talk to her. We didn't really want him to go in to see her go through some of the physical pain that she was going through, but he was allowed to come in and spend a little bit of quality time with her. And there were times when he would ask her questions, and he saw that her physical aspect had started to go down, and that was the time then he started to worry a lot. So when he come out from talking to her and seeing her, he would come and ask me questions. Auntie, mom was moaning, or mom was doing this and that, and only thing I could tell him is that, she's going through some pain, Cody, but we are here to love her and be supportive to her, and that's all we could do is just be by her side and pray for her. And so that was one of the things that I had to do. I had to make sure that he stayed mentally strong. And that was my job. But my other sister, she did all of the, work with her and made sure her needs got met.
So for advice for people that are going through this, do you think that they should kind of keep a distance with their children or other family members, or do you think that they should particularly go in and see something like this? Because it's such a, a hard thing to say what is right and what is wrong. But what is your personal opinion on that?
Well, I'm an adult, and some of the things that I saw took a toll on me, and I had to really pray, and I had some emotional breakdowns, and I didn't want my nephew to see the full extent of her the problems that she had endured. So I believe that they need to know what is going on, but I don't think they need to, as far as young children, they don't need to see. You never want them to see, we don't know what is the stage of it, if it's terminal or whatever. My sister's condition was terminal. So we didn't want him to see the full aspect of that problem. We wanted him to know that I'll be there for mom and I'll be supportive to mom, but I didn't want him to have his memories of his mom in that stage. So I kept him away to a point where he would, when it did happen, his mother left this world, when it did happen, that he would have some better memories instead of seeing her in the situation state that she was in.
And I think it's interesting that you said that, because one of the reasons why I decided to take the stand and interview people that have actually helped and been with their family members that had cancer is that one of my friends from college actually went through the same thing, and she unfortunately was there from the very beginning, seeing her father slowly deteriorate. And I think it's interesting that you kind of tried to not shield, but in a good way, like a parental way, try and help Cody not see that type of deterioration. And I think in the long run, I think that it did possibly help him, because I know one of the things she said is it was very difficult to cope and to deal with something like that.
Well, my sister asked me, she said, Dee Dee, do me a favor, don't let Cody see me like this. I don't want him to see me deteriorate like this. He said, if you could, just keep him away as much as you can. I said, well, no, I don't want to keep him away. I said, because he's questioning it, and I want him to be there to let him know that, let him feel that he is supporting you. So, in the morning when her moments were a little bit better and when she was alert, that's the time we allowed him to go in and talk to her.
Now, are you a music listener?
Yes, I am. I love my gospel music. I love music.
It's interesting because a lot of people that I've actually talked to through this process of me trying to gain information about it, I found a lot of people saying that they listen to music. And music was one of the ways that they could particularly escape their reality for a little bit. Now, do you find that to be the case with you?
Well, it wasn't a way of escaping it for me by listening to music, but it was a way of me finding a little bit more peace within myself to handle the whole situation. And I love listening to gospel stations, because I believe that when you're going through a situation like that, you need some type of inner strength, some inner support. And so a lot of time we were listening to gospel songs, and a lot of time I would even turn on the stations for her where there were spiritual scriptures, and that's where my strength came from, to be a strength for her. It was mostly listening to a lot of the gospel stations.
Now, you mentioned gospel and religion, and it seems to be something that is very positive in your life. I believe you mentioned that in your earlier answers as well. Now, did you find any specific scriptures or any specific things that you clenched to get you through such a difficult time as this?
Yeah, I think one of the ones that we used to talk about, that I could do all things through Christ who strengthened me. That was one that we talked about. Another one was the book of Job. And we talked about that. And I remember one thing. It was one day when she was feeling slightly a little bit better. And we were, she asked me, she said, Dee Dee, would you do me a favor? She said, will you, do my hair for me? She said, because I'm a little bit too. I said, sure, I'm going to do your hair. And so I got her to sit up a little bit, and I was combing her hair. And she kind of looked up at me and she said, you know something, I'm not going to make it through this. And I said, yes, you are. You're going to make it through this. And I said, you got to believe, and you have to have faith. And she said, well, no, I don't think I'm going to make it. She said, and it's okay. She said, I've come to accept this. She said, one of the things that I do want you to do is make sure that you watch after Cody, my son. I said, well, we go through that denial thing. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk positive. We're going to think positive and so on. She said, no, that's a good thing, and I believe in that. She said, but there's a time and point in life when you have to look the situation in the eye and accept it for what it is. And I said, well, okay then. She said, I want you to make sure Cody will be all right. And I said, well, I'll be here for him. I said, but you got to realize you're going to be here for him. And she said, no. I said, well, the Bible tells us that that we have to believe and trust in the Lord. And if we believe and trust in him, he will give us the strength, the desires of our hearts. And I said, one of the desires of our hearts is for you to get better. And she said, that's true. And she said, I'm believing in all that, and I'm listening to the scripture. She said, but he also said, his will is not our will. You know what I'm saying? And his way is not our way. And so I said, well, you're right about that. I said, but meanwhile, we're just going to keep on believing and keep trusting.
Now, I think it's interesting that you put strength in something like that, because when we as people think of strength, we think of, huge muscles and this really huge Hercules type of character. But sometimes with strength comes knowledge, and with strength comes vulnerability, because not necessarily the strongest person, it sometimes is the person that has an understanding about things. And I think it's interesting that you said that about your sister. Do you think that was her strength in knowing something like that and being okay with it? Yes,
it really was, because once she realized the stage that she was in and the point that she was at, it's not like she lost faith. She held on to her faith. I think it was her faith that gave her the strength to endure what she had to go through, even though she had realized that, I'm not going to make it through this storm. I'm not going to be able to make it through this storm. But I have faith and trust in God that I'm able to look at it for what it is and endure it. And endure it. And sometimes she even sort of encouraged me, even though I was encouraging her and talking to her. In the back of my mind, I kind of felt like, that that she may not make it. So once she acknowledged it and told me that it was okay, then I was able to get even stronger myself. You know what I'm saying? I even got a little bit stronger.
So you said that it did make you a lot stronger.
It made me a lot stronger. Yeah, I was strong. How can I say? I was strong for her in the beginning, encouraging her and motivating her, telling her that this is something that you're going to get through. We're going to get through. We can do this. We can do it. And she was agreeing with. She said, yes. Even though at some of her most weakest moments when we read scripture and listened to some of the radio, and listened to some of the sermons and so on and so on, she was strong. But as her body and her mind start to go more and more and leave a little bit more, she realized that this is a battle that she really can't. She won't be able to endure, and so she started to encourage me, and then my other sisters and them. She started encouraging us. So she got the scriptures. The scriptures strengthened her, and as it got close to the end for her, she started to strengthen us.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That someone like that can have the strength to do that. I think that's such a beautiful thing for you to,
Yeah.
say that and can look back on that and take that. Now, you said something about your other sister. Now, what was she like? Where was she during this whole entire period? How was she feeling during something
Well,
like that?
we've always looked at her as sort of like the backbone to all problems and situations. Everybody in my family, I have 4 sisters.
Okay.
I have 5 sisters with the one who just passed, so it's like 4 of us left. And we all sort of have a role in the family, you know what I'm saying? And this one particular sister, she has the role of a caregiver. She stands the ground, you know what I'm saying? And so when she goes in with the intentions that I can do this. No matter how difficult it is, I can do this. And so where I'm more of the prayer warrior or the person who believing and keeping the faith and so on. She's the actual hand-on person. And so she did all of the caregiving of her, making sure that her medication she took her medication, making sure that she got back and forth to the hospital, and when at the end, when she was sort of in hospice care, we didn't really have anyone to come in to take care of. My sister did it. My sister did. So she saw everything. She was there for all of the pain and the emotional and the physical problems that she dealt with. I think that she stood strong for her at the most vulnerable time that my sister had to go through. But and she kept all of that in. You know, I'm the type of person, I expressed my feelings. I told my sister how I felt. We talked about different things and plans and preparations and believing and trusting. But my other sister didn't talk about it. Sometimes I believe that it's good to talk about things. She just did the work and never talked about anything. And I feel like even today, she hasn't really overcome what she saw and heard and felt, as opposed to me being there, but not as strong, not on a daily basis that she was, because there was times she slept right next to her. You know what I'm saying? When I was at home taking care of Cody and my children, but she was right there. And I believe that it's good when you're going through something like that. If you're the strong person, the caregiver, there's a time and point where you can hold on to be the strong right then and there. But down the line, you're going to have to be able to express all of that, what you have seen, and let it go.
Now, I know that a lot of people believe, and you said expression, and I think that's very interesting that you say that, because a lot of people express things in different ways.
Yes,
and I
they
believe I talked to someone and they said during such a difficult time as this, they turned to yoga, and they turned to writing lyrics, and they turned to playing with their guitar or going through music or going through theatrics. So I think it's very interesting that you said that, because everyone tends to cope with something like this so very differently. And how did you said she passed away, and I'm so very sorry for your loss. And do you think, how was the way that you basically not get over it, because you always remember and you always take that person in your heart, but what made it easier for you to go about your daily life?
Well, I can say that I took each day as it came by, as I saw it. The first few weeks, it was difficult, because you start to think about all the things that you did with that person. You know what I'm saying? All of these memories starts to overcome you. And so I had to take some time out to get rid of all what to sort of deal with what I saw and what I heard. And then I had to pray about it. And after I prayed about it, then I realized, okay, I can't stay in a depressive mode or feel pity party mode. I have to come out of this, because I have to deal with my family and I have to deal with her son. At that time, he moved in with me. And so even though his mom was gone, he still needed that mother image or role model. Although I could never take the road be the role model for his mom, I had to stand for him. And so he was spending a lot of time with me. So I think what I did, I dealt with mine with him in more of a, and this may sound strange, but a fun way. We did a lot of fun things. So I took the kids to plays. We went to the movies. We did things that was more active to keep his mind together, and to sort of keep my mind together. And once we were able to do fun and active things, we did things that commemorate her memories of her. We wrote letters. We went through the scrapbook, and we looked at pictures and everything. And I kept encouraging them to talk about Mom as if she's still a part of us, you know. So that's what we did. We did things that made the kids feel like, even though she has left us, but her spirit and the memories of her is still active and live today. And so I think that's what got me through it, and got her son through it, and my family through it.
That's such a beautiful story, and I think it's interesting that you said even writing letters, because someone else that I actually talked to said that at the end they had kept all these letters. And I thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. And I know this is a very hard topic, but thank you for being with me today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.